I think we're live, Andrew.
We are live, Jim. As always, you know that before I do, mate. So happy Thursday, everyone.
Hello, everybody, and hello, Andrew. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm very
Good.
good. I woke up this morning and got a notification about the leaked news, and that kind of dampened my day a little bit this morning, to be honest. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Interesting day, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, as I said, I was really looking forward. Yeah, had a few plans in motion for clients and so forth, and you get this news, this leaked news, so called it, and you don't know what to say. It confuses you. So I know it's not. It might not be true, but it's still one of those things that plays with back of your head.
It amazes me, Andrew, that top secret government news
Yeah.
can be leaked, and it happens every single time before they've got an announcement.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got my own views on that, and my views. I'm not into conspiracies and all these theories that you see posted everywhere, but I look at how this whole pandemic has been managed, and I should use the word. This is my personal view: mismanaged. And then I look at the supposed top secret documents that were leaked. They're not leaked. If they were leaked, the government would be holding a bloody royal commission into what's going on and how everything is leaked, right? It's purposely, in my opinion, again, I stress, my humble opinion, this stuff is leaked purposely to the media to prepare people for what's potentially coming.
100%. I reckon they do it to see people's reactions.
Yeah, of course.
Just to see what people comment on social media and just to get AI. We were talking about this before, to see what kind of reactions people do have on social media, and I suppose come decision day, I think it's Saturday or Sunday, he's going to announce obviously the roadmap out of this. I suppose gives them some information about how people actually feel about it. So yeah, it's interesting.
Interesting times, and I think we'll talk a little bit about it a little bit later, but it's the effect on so many people is astounding.
Yeah,
you just can't measure it. You cannot measure the effect on people's livelihoods, on people's mental health, and on people's health itself.
Yep.
Interesting looking at a lot of the statistics saying how many people that have to go and get checkups for various things haven't been doing it, right? And they haven't been doing it because they're locked up at home.
Yeah.
And they're scared to go out, and this fear that's been created that is affecting our day-to-day ability to live. Who would have thought that in 2020 in Australia, Western civilization, that in Melbourne, in Victoria, that we're allowed out of our homes for 1 hour per day. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that could happen, right? And yet here we are.
Correct. And I've spoken to a fair few clients today, and to get their reactions. I spoke to Dr. Michael. I don't know if you know Dr. Michael.
Yep.
Yeah, I spoke to him today, and he's very, very quiet. And then I speak to one of my mates that owns a trucking business, and they're starting to get quiet as well. And these are clients and friends that feeling the impact on what's happening, and you just care for their welfare. Like we do what we do in our daily business, and touch wood, we've got a strong business, and people know that we're here to help them, but we also care for their welfare moving forward. And it's just really, really tough for some people, and that's why we always say for anyone that wants to chat, that's why we always pick up the phone and call them just to see how things are going.
We're here.
Yeah.
Andrew, I think this is the impact of what all of us are going through. Financially is going to be felt for a very, very long time. Saw an interesting article yesterday that was showing how long it's taken for the economy to bounce back whenever there's been a downturn. And, they're predicting that this will be 2.5, 3 years potentially before the state can get back to a level of where it was. And the unfortunate part, the really sad part about that is that all this money is being thrown out. It's got to get paid back somehow. And whether it's through taxes or whatever it is, I suspect that our kids will be feeling the effects for a very, very long time. But it is what it is. We have to live by it, and we will wait with bated breath on Father's Day this Sunday. Why on God's earth they have to make the announcement on a Sunday, I'll never know. Maybe so the North Face top can come back out. But anyway, we will wait until Sunday and see exactly what it is. But we'll talk a little bit more about some of the stuff that's been leaked. But some really interesting articles coming out. And I know you and I touched on it, Andrew. We've been saying for the last month or so to people that watch these posts that the amount of activity, you can't sugarcoat it. We're not about bullshit. It's about facts. And the reality is that, yes, turnover, of course, for the first couple of weeks of lockdown, it was still pretty good. For the latter 2 weeks, it's almost a standstill, other than a few sales happening where people had already seen the property previously.
Or empty land, vacant land.
Vacant land, yeah. Land, of course. Land, people, if they live within 5 k's, they can drive past it. They can see what's next door, what's behind it. If they like it, they can negotiate and purchase it. But prior to that, when the government came out with their home builder scheme, we felt an impact from June. Let's call it May, June, when they announced home builder, giving people an additional, first home buyers, an additional $25,000. And there was a really interesting article on, I think it was on realestate.com.
realestate.com put out some really good information out there. So for anyone that's looking to buy and selling or just wants general information, even if they're looking to invest, they put some really good articles out there. And obviously they've got people out there that obviously resource this information. And I picked out a really good article just in regards to new homes getting built, like approvals. Yeah. So there's 3,000 new homes that are ready to be built post-COVID. So that is a 9.8% jump from 2018, which is huge, right? So that's really good signs. I think it gives people confidence. There's people out there that are still continuing with their plans in regards to, building a new home or their dream home or first home. There's heaps of house and land packages. As we know, Jim, we deal with a couple of developers ourselves. Yeah. So I find that really interesting. And obviously at the moment, what's holding us back is just timelines, right? Yeah. I know I spoke to a couple of developers myself. Their projects are on hold because to have 3 people or 5 people on their work site, you just can't do it. You can't manage it, So I suppose the project they've started, obviously post COVID or pre-COVID, shall I say, they started those job sites. They're already working on those job sites, but again, any projects that they're going to start, there's really no point. So you can see there's a backlog of people that obviously builders and so forth, 3,000 homes across Victoria. That's huge, So, and most of it is surrounding suburbs where we live, right? So if you look at the back end of Caroline Springs and, there's a couple of really good estates out there. Woodley, for example, is huge at the moment, So, so that's promising signs out there to give people confidence that people are still wanting to move and to build.
Yeah, look, I think the thing we've got to look at with data, that article just came out the other day on realestate.com, and yes, there are 3,000 homes ready to start. We've got to remember that just didn't happen overnight. A lot of these sales are sales that are over the last 2-3 months, where people have bought their blocks, and there's a bit of a lag time before they can actually engage a builder, get their permits, and be ready to start. But the point is, we know from talking to a lot of the builders that we deal with, as a company, we've got strong relationships with Metricon Homes, with Simmons Homes, and particularly through all the growth corridors. And we know from talking to them that there was a big surge in activity due to the extended government grants, partly due to that. And of course, on top of that, they've got people that are second home buyers that are moving. And we know when we look at our corridor, and I put an interesting post up last week, Andrew, on a mate of mine, Branko LeMake, sent me a newspaper cutout on the price of land in Keilor Lodge back in 1992, right? $53,000, from $53,000. And then another mate who used to sell, Phil Spinella used to sell land for Oliver Hume back in the day out through there, and he used to sell the half-acre blocks in Nordic Avenue backing on to the freeway. They're $1 million blocks now, and he was selling those for $79,000, right? We were selling sugar gum when we started.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
When we started selling Sugar Gum Farm in the late 80s, on the corner where the pub is, the Sugar Gum Farm, there was a little side office there, and it was from $79,000 for a block of land. Last one that sold was 1.3 million. So, time does that. But so now, when we look at the spread of people that lived in Taylor's Lakes in the early days, and then when Hillside started, they bought a block and built in Hillside. Then Taylor's Hill started, and they bought a block and went to Taylor's Hill. Now we're seeing them going to Fraser Rise. We're seeing them going to Woodley and Aspire and all these new estates through Plumpton. It's no wonder that there's an increase in activity. And we also know that land developers went through a stage 16, 17, 18 where they couldn't get land out quick enough because of the red tape. They couldn't get land out quick enough. But the point is, right now, yes, we've seen a bit of a spike in activity in land sales and in people wanting to build. Great sign.
And Shane just had a really good question. Shane, a coffee man who supplies our fantastic coffee out of auction.
Yep.
He just asked, do you sell or rent through a recession? Now, it was interesting. I think they put it the other day that we're in a recession or whatnot. Now, from our point of view, we haven't really felt the impact from people not inquiring on properties and so forth. And Shane, that's a really good topic or question. To be honest, from what I see at the moment, my inquiry on my properties I currently have listed has been fantastic. So that hasn't slowed down. So if we weren't getting inquiries on our properties, we'll definitely be concerned because obviously people are holding back for whatever reason. But that hasn't happened yet. So again, maybe you can, suppose answer that question as well, Jim.
I think. Look, the market has always been driven by supply and demand.
Yep.
So what we've witnessed in the last 12, 18 months is a shortage of stock of listings, and good strong demand. So when there's a shortage of supply and demand is there, that creates competition. It creates good prices. And Shane, driving our coffee van and being at our auctions every week, gets to really a good feel for the market, right?
Yeah, he does.
Because he's at every auction. And Shane, you would have seen, particularly in the early part of this year, some strong results. Let's talk about really recently when we went into stage 3 in July and we couldn't conduct on-site auctions. We did online auctions. We had the luxury of people already being able to see those homes, and they adapted to the technology. They were happy to bid online, but they were buying a property that they had already seen and touched it and felt it and wanted to buy it. And we had a 100% success rate. We sold them all, 18 auctions all gone, which was great, and all for really strong results too. What does the future hold, Shane? We don't know. I'll tell you the interesting thing in the short term, we still know that there's a shortage of supply. And perhaps as a segue from that question, Andrew, we can talk a little bit about some of this information that's been leaked, right? So what we do know from the information, the top secret information that's been leaked, is that from September 13th, from this Sunday, until September 28th, what they are suggesting. Now, let's preface it by saying that this is all alleged at the moment, right? We don't know if it's actual. But what they're suggesting is that for the next 2 weeks, not much changes. We pretty much stay as we are. There's still a curfew. The difference is you'll be able to meet one other person when you go out. One person can visit you. You're allowed 2 hours of exercise. And what they're saying is that from the 28th of September, there won't be a curfew. We'll be able to see up to 5 people from one other family and create a bubble, if you like. But how does it impact real estate? At this stage, what we know, if this leaked information is correct, is that we physically still cannot have inspections on a property. And the earliest we will be able to do that, if this information is correct, is the 12th of October. They actually want information, what they actually want is for us to go to stage 2 before we can physically have inspections. And they want at least 2 weeks of less than 5. If from the 28th of September, we have a period of 2 weeks where there are no infections or less than 5, then if that all goes well, it means that from the 12th of October, we go to reduced restrictions where we can start physically showing homes. Now, right now, I mean, what's the 3rd of September?
Correct.
That means that we've got another 5 weeks as real estate agents where we cannot physically show a client a house. Well, guess what? If that's the case, there's going to be bugger all. There's going to be very, very few sales. But to answer Shane's question, if your home is on the market and there is not a lot of competitive stock, Shane. So the short history of the last few months tells us that you will still get a good result. And we always say to people that you buy and sell in the same market. Now, if someone is building a new home and they're under construction and they're waiting for their house to finish and they started building 8-9 months ago and now they want to put their home on the market, in the areas that we cover, there's a severe shortage of listings. We don't know what it's going to be like once we come out of lockdown. I don't think we're going to see a massive lift in listing numbers, but we do know that there's a strong appetite from buyers. So really, we don't think the prices should be affected, Shane.
And Shane just said basically that, he just asked if the date's the 12th of October. We don't know that, Shane.
No, we don't.
And all I'll be saying to yourself, and obviously I've been in touch with Shane as well regularly, as is my other clients, just get your homes ready. And as long as we obviously know when we actually can start proceeding with taking buyers through and actually commencing, putting homes on the market in terms of photography, floor plans, videos. We can't do any of that until we actually know when obviously lockdowns end and obviously we can get back to business. So all I advise all my clients is start decluttering.
Yep.
Obviously any maintenance work that you can do yourself, fantastic. Obviously no one can come out and do any handyman work or cut grass at the moment. So hopefully our clients can do that themselves if they can, and just get ready for the exit. And that's my honest and best advice, because at the moment we're at home. So all my clients at the moment, that are calling me to find out more information about, when can we actually start proceeding with the sale, we just don't know. My advice is just keep tracking along in terms of, getting the house ready for sale. As the people decluttering, any, painting works around the property,
maintenance, right?
Yeah, correct. Maintenance work. Correct. Exactly right. And then as soon as we know when we can start commencing their campaign or when we can actually go back to business, everything will be ready. Photographers will be available and so forth. But you want to be, pretty much first in the queue, because you're going to have a period of probably 2 or 3 weeks where everyone is going to be flat out, from gardening maintenance to work, housing maintenance to photographers and so forth. So there's going to be obviously a bit of demand for that kind of industry as well.
Yeah, look, Andrew, that's 100% correct. And what we've always said over the last few weeks is exactly that: is use this time to get yourself ready, get yourself prepared. We won't know. Perhaps we can, next week's post, we'll certainly be able to give people, Andrew, a much better idea, because we'll know whether this leaked information is confirmed or what it actually is. We know that the government, we're told that they speak to industry leaders when they're making decisions so that they can gather information. If that's the case, and we know that the REIV, our industry body, is lobbying very strongly and advocating on behalf of agents to allow us to be able to physically show people homes, because we demonstrated as an industry that we could do it safely, competently and properly, using all of the required protocols, gloves, masks, sanitising, social distancing, and we were showing people homes. And there was no issue, and people could still transact. Right now, what's happened is this: our hands are tied. We don't know how long it's going to go for. We know that there's also the impact on people that do need to sell. There are plenty of clients that have bought other properties prior to lockdown, not expecting a lockdown, and were ready to put their homes on the market, or some in fact did, and all of a sudden they can't sell. Now they still need to settle on the house that they bought. So, people say to me, oh, a price is going to fall. Well, don't think so, but don't know, is the simple answer. But the point is, there are going to be plenty of vendors that need to sell and want to sell, and they're going to want to do a deal. They'll do a deal right now if they have to. If they could, they would. But what we suspect is that we will see a little bit of an influx in stock on people that have been holding back. We know that there's a strong appetite from buyers because our inquiry level, Andrew, you're getting inquiries, all the sales team are all getting inquiries coming through from the limited stock that we've got currently online. The one thing that's worked really well for us as a company recently has been our exclusive preview.
Yeah, it's been fantastic, Jim. I don't know if you probably have, obviously, but I'll get the emails every day with how many people have jumped on and registered that are interested. I couldn't believe it. There's probably about 3 or 4 inquiries every single day that are registered for those properties. I think I put on about 4 properties that are offline, and every single one of them get an inquiry every day. So
maybe just touch on that. So Barry Plant, ladies and gentlemen, have an exclusive preview model where if you register on our website exclusively, so jump onto our website at Barry Plant, Taylor's Lakes or St Albans or Caroline Springs, and you register your details. Estate.com or on their exclusive Barry Plant customers. It doesn't cost you anything. You just jump on and register, yeah?
Jim, you froze for about 30 seconds there.
Oh, did I? Have you got me? Have you got me now? I was just saying.
Yeah, you were just basically saying that.
Okay, so I'll say it again.
It must be a bad internet line.
NBN.
Oh, no.
All I was saying was if people if people register, they will see exclusively our properties.
Yeah, correct. And as I said, that's been working really, really well. So hopefully by early next week, we'll be able to inform people of what it looks like in regards to the exit ramp. So the most important thing at the moment is just keep positive, everyone. We're positive people ourselves, mate. And we always want to chat to our friends and family and clients and whatnot. So I think that's really, really important. And everyone at the moment is doing a little bit tough. If you look at, and we were speaking before, even our friends and family and so forth, just communicate. It's the most important thing to do right now, I think.
Andrew, we keep talking about it, and with our teams, we're doing, we're reaching out a few times a week. We're doing Zoom calls. We're keeping in touch with our staff daily and all of our people, and certainly with our clients. I think your message, Andrew, is gold, and that is for everybody to just look out for one another. I know it's frustrating and it's hard. I watch, one of my favourite shows every night is Paul Murray, watching Paul Murray live. And last night, he interviewed Paul Dimartina. And Dimmer is in the hospitality industry. Their family, ex-AFL footballer. And Dimmer was on there talking about the impact in their industry, which is cafes, restaurants and hotels and pubs. I've got a lot of friends that are in hospitality and friends that have got pubs, restaurants, and their business has been decimated. And it's really hard when you reach out to those people and you say, hey, mate, keep your chin up. I know it's tough. Keep your chin up. And you know what most of them are worried about? And some of these people are people that have worked for 30, 40 years building up a brilliant business that's just been whacked, shut, right? All they're worried about, all of their cash, they're worried about their people, because they're not all on job, right? And they're worried about the overseas students that work part-time and pick up an extra couple $100 a week, and that helps pay for their rent. But, you feel for anyone that's in, all you got to do is walk around Water Gardens and the place is a ghost town other than Woolworths and the food centres, nothing else is open. There's 200 specialty shops that are shut. You know, and you look at anyone that's in travel, hospitality, retail, everyone is affected. Everyone. So, you know, your message, Andrew, is spot on. Just keep, you know, whatever it is, guys, we're going to get through it, right? So just keep an eye out for each other. As Tom Panos, #1 real estate coach in the land, always says, Tom always says, stage 4 restrictions is better than stage 4 cancer. And, you know, that message is something that we need to drill into here, that, you know what, we know it's tough. We know it's a pain in the butt, but for goodness sake, look after yourself, look after your family, and everything is going to open up eventually. That's the reality.
Spot on, Jim, 100%. So for everyone else tuning in, thanks again. Thank you, Shane, for your question, mate. Hopefully that answers your question. But definitely to Shane as well and to all our clients, we'll keep them posted as we get, you know, information in hand, and then we'll just look forward and look again. I just can't wait to get back on the tools, Jim. So I think we're all waiting just to help our clients, you know. So you know, there's a lot of impatient, not just vendors, but there's a lot of impatient people that are looking actually to secure a home as well, you know. So to those people, to our clients, to our future clients as well, thanks for your patience, thanks for hanging in there, but more importantly, stay safe.
Absolutely. Well done, Andrew. Thanks for your time again. And ladies and gentlemen, friends, stay safe.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.
See you, everyone.
Bye.